To another Real Talk session with your man Theodore Miles, Memphis, Tennessee edition. As you can see, that's a Statue of Liberty holding a cross. America returned to Christ is what it says at the feet of the statue. I think that's pretty cool, pretty amazing. Good representation of where America needs to go today. We're in a sad state of things, of affairs. People no longer believe in the government. We stopped being a country in 1871. We became a corporation. That corporation is up. I believe at this point it'll be technically illegal for us to even have a president. We very well may have to go back to the days of Ulysses S. Grant, the real last president of the United States, before the change in 1871. And if all of this Democrat corruption is exposed and eliminated, and the people that should be Gitmo are Gitmo, then at that point, maybe America can return back to Christ. Maybe at that point, we could have the nation we all want. The one that we want to find opportunity in. The one we want to be able to pick ourselves up by our own bootstraps and march our own beat. That's the America I want to live in. I was just thinking today, I can't trust the Democrats. I can't trust the Republicans. I'm just a patriot. I believe in our U.S. Constitution. But back to what I was saying earlier. 1871, America ceased to be a country, and began as a corporation. When you look at those gold tassels, that represents the corporation, not the country. When you look at our flag and you see the gold on it, the gold represents the corporation, not the country.
All right. I want to welcome you to another Real Talk session, Leaving Memphis edition. I was just thinking, as I was driving down this long, deserted road. I do have a few cars behind me, but honestly, I'm not really worried too much about what's behind me. I am worried about what's to come. I saw my mama today. I haven't seen her in quite some time. And I was saddened by all the time that I had missed. In order to gain, you have to give up something. I gave up time with my family, time with my friends. I gave up memories so that I could become the person that I'm destined to become. I have yet to figure out if I am meant to be alone or am I meant to have a queen. One of my favorite people in history was Marcus Aurelius, first emperor of Rome. And that man was alone. He even wrote a book to himself to keep himself righteous with his people. And he called his book Meditations. In honor of his book that he wrote to himself, I wrote Meditations, Internal Philosophies, right after I finished studying the great Marcus Aurelius. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here as a country? Are we a country? How many of y'all knew that in 1871, well, America stopped being a country? What do you mean, Theodos? We stopped being a country. I wake up every day in America. I live in the country of America, Theodos. What are you talking about? Well, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, you don't live in the country of America. You live in the corporation of America. Or, more accurately, what used to be the corporation of America. You see, in 2019, June, that corporation, what used to be a country called America, well, that ended. So, technically, from my understanding, when things like this happen, the military will have to come in and make sure that the country is not in any type of civil war, make sure that everything runs smoothly and orderly. Therefore, there can be an orderly transition. The last president that the country, not corporation, but the country of America, the last president that we had was Ulysses S. Grant. He was the 18th president. Well, if we don't have a charter, if we don't have a corporation, then we can't have a president. It would be illegal. So what's going to happen on January 20th if we ain't a corporation anymore? Well, we could go into the government of Nasara, essentially common law, or what we call here in America, constitutional law. I mean, hell, the country of Spain didn't even have a government for a while. And the people eventually just settled into doing righteous things. The country of Spain actually ran better without a government. But in this case here, we finna see some hellified stuff happen up to the 20th, y'all. Pay attention to what's going on in the media. Keep in mind that the mainstream media is not telling you the proper narrative. When Nancy Pelosi tried to keep Trump from having those nuclear codes, y'all do realize that's a form of sedition. Stuff is about to hit the fan. And I don't know if Trump is in a bunker somewhere. I ain't seen him on TV. I seen what I thought was a green screen. So I don't know what's going on, but I know one thing. Y'all need to get together, man. Get ready. Get you some food. Get you some water. Because things is about to change. We finna possibly have a 19th president. If we go back to being a country again and no longer a corporation, that means that Trump will end up being the 19th president of the United States, not the 46th president. Or the 45th, I'm sorry, a reissue, a re-inauguration of a 45th president. It's some interesting times that we live in right now. It's a lot that can happen.
Into the next 10 days, Joe Biden's going to be inaugurated. They're still miserable. They got Trump off Twitter. They're still miserable. They're just going to start eating each other. I think at the heart of it, I think one of the most dangerous things we do in this day and age is that we marry our personal identities to our politics, and we can't get out of it. And it prevents us from being free thinkers, because if you're like, I'm a Trump supporter, I can't see anything the left does is correct, or I'm a leftist, I can't see anything a Trump supporter does is correct, we close ourselves off. We have to step back and realize we have a common enemy. That while we're fighting and bickering among each other, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell are shaking hands and having cigars in the back room because they're getting rich, grifting off of us while we sit here and bicker with each other.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance of Biden ever getting into the White House or being inaugurated, because from a fundamental point of view, the US corporation was closed down in June 2019. So the election itself technically was a farce, but it was run through the process to establish what they were up to. So the corporation of the United States, there is no, at this moment in time, there's no job for a president as it stands, because the corporation of the United States of America has been closed down to make way, what I believe, for the Nasara government, which is comes under common law, or as you call it in America, constitutional law. Now, if you watch what Donald Trump has done through the whole journey, he has not once gone outside of the Constitution. Not once. Mm-hmm. Everything is by the Constitution. What the extreme left and the Democrats have done is gone outside and tried to change the Constitution. The Constitution will stand, I can assure you of that. And Donald Trump will stick to the Constitution. And this is why he's signed the Insurrection Act over against taking you under military control. Because the Insurrection Act means that you have to conform to the Constitution. So they can't point the finger at him and say, oh, you're a dictator. No, I'm going to hold you to the Constitution. End of story.